Okay, this feels weird. Hi?
What the hell, man? You're messing up my setup.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to come here. I'll leave as soon as possible.
Get out! Yeah!
Liam, go! A removal in a card game is a card that destroys or nullifies an opponent's card and either removes it completely or puts it back into the deck. These cards are used to stop combos or even win games if played correctly. In today's video, we will be looking at top 5 worst removals in Legends of Runeterra. Here are the rules. We are counting any card. That means units, landmarks, and spells that remove 1 to 2 cards. We're not including board wipes or pings, as those are for another video. And finally, this ranking is completely my opinion. You might have a different opinion than me, and I welcome you to talk more about it. And before we begin, if you like my videos and you want to see me do more of them, I post bi-weekly, so be sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I'll give you a cookie, I promise. Anyways, I'm Corinne. Here are my top 5 worst removals in the game. Also, thank you Travis for recommending this topic. In number 5 we have Shifting Sands, a slow 6-cost spell that does 4 damage to a unit and summons 2 sand soldiers. With a lot of units with less than 4 health in this game, I'm counting this as a removal. It deals damage and it generates blockers or attackers. Compared to Weight of Judgment, it does a decent amount of damage to champions. It's a bit expensive for a 0 Aurelia dex, but it can certainly work in a 0 Hecarim dex. But the issue rises as it's a slow speed spell, so you can't use it as a combat removal. Sand soldiers are not the best blockers, and Shurima doesn't really have any control decks for this card to strive in either. Comparing it to Riptide Ceremone, Shifting Sands was just power corrupt. How I would buff it is to decrease the damage by 1 and make it a fast speed spell. Rosa the Sunderer is my number 4. He is an 8-cost unit that has decent stats, and if you slay a unit before playing Rosa, you play the 2 weakest enemy units. It's a really easy condition, and this late into the game, 2 units can turn the tides. But in today's meta, Rosa is just too slow. Even if Rosa was reverted to 7 costs, the extra condition of needing to slay a unit before playing Rosa just makes this unit very slow. If you want to proc Rosa's effect before attacking, you need to somehow kill a unit with 0 to 5 mana before summoning Rosa. And without Overwhelm or anything else, Rosa can't end games. Your opponent can also react to this effect. They can buff certain units to protect them when this play effect initializes. My proposed buff is to bring him back to 7 cost, decrease the power by 1, and give him Overwhelm to finish off games. Bring back the Sunderer. And in number 3 we have Captain Erica. Captain Erica is an 8-cost 6/6 unit with Spell Shield that captures a landmark or unit. What's good about her is that she's a cage, you pick something and she keeps it. But as a unit, she has weaknesses as well. Unlike Rosa, removing a card is not permanent. Once she is slain, she lets go of the card and it's summoned again. And this might proc some effects like Pantheon level 2 or Back Alley Bar. Captain Erica is also an 8-cost card. This late into the game, you want to be trying to end the match. But with her stat line and the importance of keeping her alive, you can't do much with Erica. She's also summoned too late into the game. Back Alley Bar is summoned on round 6. The opponent already generated enough resources, where when you summon Erica on round 8, it doesn't really matter. I would propose a buff to Erica, but Runeterra already made a really good buff for her. I'll show it here because it's a really fun change. But that's why Erica is my number 3. And in number 2, this might surprise some of you, but Sunk Cost is not the worst removal. It's bad and I don't think you should ever use it, but it does the job. You can send whatever card you want back into the deck. It can also be used on Back Alley Bar, or even Sundisk. Sunk Cost also negates Last Breath abilities, and with the most recent expansion with Aatrox, sending big units back in the deck might be worth it. But even with all these benefits, it's Sunk Cost, it's a joke card and it's in the name. You're using 8 mana to remove a card at slow speed. Your opponent can just use their own mana to regain what was lost. I don't think Sunk Cost is meant to be good, so I have no buffs for it. Sunk Cost is just a funny card, and let's keep it like that. But if Sunk Cost is in number 2, what's in number 1? Liam, give us a drum roll. Number 1 is Rockfall Path. This is what I believe is the worst removal in the game. 2 turns after summoning Rockfall Path, you obliterate the weakest enemy unit. This is also a landmark effect, so it goes for Spell Shield. Obliterating units instead of slaying also denies Last Breath abilities and revivals. The problem about this card is that it keeps too much of the core basis of lore in the card effect. You're giving your opponent 2 turns to react to his ability and counter it. Your opponent can sacrifice their units or even just summon a weaker unit to counter the effect. It also doesn't help that this is a Targon landmark, and Targon doesn't really have any support for landmarks. Rockfall Path is an early tempo loss, a turn 2 do nothing card, a very slow late game card, and overall the worst removal in Legends of Runeterra. If I was buffing Rockfall Path, I want to keep the core mechanic of letting your opponent react to it, so I want to give it a stun the strongest enemy on summon effect, so you're at least gaining something out of playing the card. I think it's a cool card, and I would love to see it in a Grandpa Roji deck. But that's that. These are my top 5 worst removals in the game. Did I miss one? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, I'm Kryn, and Rosa is going to end the video.
Don't do it illegal, don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, peace.